Are you the sort of person who cringes at the phrase live, laugh, love, and unironic sentimentality in general? If so, today's title might challenge your sensibilities, but stay with me. You might be surprised. Welcome to Audiobook Reviews in 5. This is Yana, also known as Jana. In today's episode, I'm reviewing The Comfort Book, written and read by Matt Haig. At the end of The Comfort Book, Matt Haig reveals that his 3-hour audiobook was recorded in a bedroom of his home during the middle of lockdown, with lots of cushions and duvets covering everything to make the softest, most studio-like space. This seems apt, since The Comfort Book conveys an earnest collection of Haig's thoughts, without much polish or production. He describes The Comfort Book as some of his life rafts, stuff learned in the bad times, thoughts, meditations, lists, and examples. Things he wants to remind himself of, or things he has learned from other people or other lives. Haig highlights the paradox that, quote, many of the clearest, most comforting life lessons are learned while we're at our lowest, unquote. The Guardian's Alexander Larman warns that The Comfort Book will both inspire and irritate, and that seems to be the consensus about Matt Haig's writing in general. Perhaps this is because he leans towards familiar, and critics would say, overly sentimental ideas, rather than those that challenge our thinking. But maybe that's the point. Listeners and readers struggling with anxiety and/or depression may find it useful to refocus their thoughts on what might seem to be obvious and even boring truisms to those seeking novelty or escape. Then again, maybe you're someone who cringes at sentimentality and prefers a more removed, ironic approach to life. Maybe you're mystified as to why anyone would openly discuss feelings with Haig's intense earnestness. Okay, fair enough. And this audiobook might not be for you right now, but it's just 3 hours of listening, and consider that one day you might appreciate a bit of comfort. As Haig says, when times are hard, we need a deep kind of comfort, something elemental, a solid support, a rock to hold on to, the kind we already have inside us, but which we sometimes need a bit of help to see, unquote. As I mentioned, the audio on this recording isn't quite as professional sounding due to Haig's lockdown improvisations. Compared to Haig's recording of his 2019 book, Notes on a Nervous Planet, there's some resonance that audio aficionados may find distracting. But the audio format might still be ideal for those who want to listen to The Comfort Book while they're attempting to make their way through a crushing traffic jam, rock a restless toddler to sleep, or endure an otherwise challenging situation. If audio isn't essential to you, though, the e-reader format or hard copy might be preferable, and it's a short book, so it's handy to carry with you. My favorite quote in this book is Haig's answer to those sensing futility about the future. He says, "You have survived everything you have been through, and you will survive this, too. Stay for the person you will become. You are more than a bad day or week or month or year or even a decade. You are a future of multifarious possibility. You are another self at a point in future time looking back in gratitude that this lost and former you held on. Stay," unquote. If you're new to Matt Haig's work and you like this style of writing, I encourage you to listen to Notes on a Nervous Planet as well, which is 5 hours long. When he became ill with panic disorder, anxiety, and depression, it took him a long time to work out the ways the external world could impact his mental health in positive and negative ways. Notes on a Nervous Planet shares his journey back to happiness and the lessons learned along the way. It has a similar approach to The Comfort Book in that it contains lists, brief observations, and a journaling tone that makes it easy to pick up in various sections and doesn't really require a close reading from beginning to end. These are both titles you can turn to periodically when you feel distracted, perturbed, and in need of comfort. Lastly, if I've ever given you the impression that I'm unsentimental, rest assured that I wrote the notes for this review while listening to Mariah Carey Essentials on Apple Music. So there's that to enjoy. Or not, okay? That's all for this episode of Audiobook Reviews in 5. Thanks for listening. If you have not yet done so, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to Audiobook Reviews in 5 on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, and many others. By subscribing, you help increase the profile of this podcast and chances of other listeners finding it. I look forward to checking in with you all again soon. Please stay safe and be well.